And I was actually out fly fishing with a couple of friends, and I brought a couple bottles, and we had a couple bottles left of my first batch. I'm like, but don't worry, I got a new batch. We cracked them open, and I could just see the smiles kind of go more level faced.
Oh fuck, we're gonna have to drink this, and we're gonna have to look at him in his face.
We got the home brewer in the boat with us.
Sick and tired of hearing all these noises in my head. I can't seem to make them go away. Sick and tired of hearing you say I'm already here. When you gonna get up and go away?
Okay.
What is this?
Can't hear you, but...
Oh, you don't even have your fucking headphones on.
Huh?
Are you good?
We're good.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Bad Idea Social Club. My name is Aaron McCall.
I'm Joe Matteson.
This time, I got to sit down with Ryan Wasson. He's the head brewer over at Coopersville Brewing Company. Dude lives deep in the craft beer world.
Yeah.
He's been brewing for years. He's obsessive about process and flavor and experience. And he's the kind of guy who can nerd out about beer for hours if you just let him go.
Yeah.
But you got to give him some guardrails.
You're right.
He's a very sweet Ryno.
I was trying to think of how to make a reference to the Ace Ventura scene when he's coming out of the Ryno suit. I was like, nah, I'm gonna skip it.
Really? Because you didn't.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna go as like visual as I wanted to.
We'll work something up for socials.
Nice.
You know, he's somebody who's spent a lot of time figuring out who he is, both as a brewer and as a person. So yeah, you know, we talked about beer and brewing, but we also talked a lot about endurance and reinvention and what it takes to really get in tune and get to know yourself.
So years and years ago, I took a trip to Florida with my brother, Tony, and Erica. It was kind of like a spur of the moment thing. And I brought the camera with me. It was like right at the beginning when I started doing video, like super early. Anyway, so we go on the trip. I gather like all this footage of us just kind of doing stuff. And I come home and I start editing this thing. And in every clip, I am so dismissive of my now wife, then girlfriend, like just the way I'm talking to her. It just was so unacceptably dismissive.
Why were you being such a piece of shit?
I don't know, dude. And like something I appreciate for that experience is like it like was a total wake up call. It was just like, dude, you're taking this amazing individual for granted, and the way that you're acting is completely unacceptable. So I say that to say, it is never too late to look at who you are or what you're doing or how you're presenting yourself, and to think if there's a way that is more true to who you want to be to make adjustments.
Coming to that realization can't be like an easy thing to swallow. Bro,
it sucked. I remember I used to edit really late at night, and it was dark, and I was just like kind of like going through the footage, and I was emotional about it. I was like, who the fuck am I? And who do I want to be, more importantly? And from that moment, I was like, I will never hear myself speak to this person I love like that again. What about you? Can you think of a moment that you like stood and like looked yourself in the face, or just have like a surge of self-awareness?
Yeah. For a long time, like I thought it was cool to kind of like just be a dick.
Yeah.
It's not. Just be cool. You know? And I don't know if it was, I don't know what it was. I think I was just so like self-absorbed and like trying to be cool.
Again, what's the opportunity we have is that we can always work on it. All right. Before we dive in, don't forget to follow wherever you're listening. Leave a 5-star review, and don't forget to tell your friends.
Also, this thing runs on merch sales and listener support and reviews. So go visit badideasocialclub.com, pick up a t-shirt or a mug or something. And here's my conversation with the Ryno. Fuck yeah, Ryno the gyno. How'd you get into gynecology?
It was always a side project for a long time. I figured why not make it a...
It was a hobby. It was hobby for a long time.
Exactly. Was president of the Amateur Association in college.
But no, man, brewery of the year.
What a welcome surprise. Holy smokes. I was shocked. So actually that day was the day we had like really bad snowstorms. And if Coopersville Brewing, where I work now, it's a little farm town between Grand Rapids and Muskegon off of 96. And it's known for just horrible wind. Like when we get a blizzard, like it gets twice as bad there. So we were all actually contemplating staying at the brewery and just going like to Dollar General and getting some sleeping bags or something. And we all just like, okay, no, we're going to be adults and drive home. Like I literally got out of the shower and Steph was just like walked in and was like, just showed me cause Ed was there and basically was like, oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, I literally just got out of the shower. Then I started getting calls from people and I'm just like, can I call you back?
I'm going to need a minute.
Yeah.
Dude, that's got to be validating as hell.
It's so much so. It's been a really busy summer, a lot of hard work trying to get the beer program just redialed in and lots of equipment things and onboarding new stuff and just new team, new things. And it just felt so good, man.
Dude, I mean, especially in a region like West Michigan, where, I mean, Grand Rapids is Beer City, USA, and you're right there. Like to be recognized in West Michigan, it's fucking nuts.
Oh, and just to be at the party with the breweries that were named. Obviously, always been a huge City Built fan. Just love what they're doing there. Just to be at the table with those people are just awesome. And all the other breweries that were on the list too. You know, Oddsides, Founders. I think Bell's was on there. I can't remember who I'm missing.
Yeah, there was some motherfuckers on the list.
Oh, there were some giants. I'm like, us and Founders, huh? I mean, we made a meme. It was the one where it's like all the cats eating food and it was like the possum and it was like all the other breweries and then we were like the possum. Yeah. You know, like that's how it felt, just being this little farm club brewery. Just even be thought of was an honor, let alone winning it. So,
dude, so is the pressure on now to level up? Are you gonna take a minute and enjoy it? What's up?
I think both. Obviously, like it's cool to feel like you're part of something, but also it's like, all right, game on. Now that we have this attention, like we've got a window of opportunity, let's deal with it. So let's make the most of it, I guess is a better way of saying it.
I love that. So what are we drinking today, man? I know you brought stuff.
Oh, you ready for a beer?
Yeah.
All right. You want hops or a lager?
You drive.
Choice? All right, I'm driving the car.
Thank you.
Yes. And I brought 2 of each so we can collaboratively taste the beers together.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
So this is Chef Shifty. It was born out of a conversation between Chef Kyle Murray and I, our chef at Coopersville Brewing, our One Eyed Pizza restaurant.
Fun fact. I mean, I don't know if anybody listening to this has been with us since the beginning, but we had Kyle on the podcast very first season.
I was actually thinking about that. Like some of the people like that in my world, like I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so many awesome like references to previous episodes.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, so it was a conversation between Chef and I just about loving, I'll just say it, Founders Red's Rye, but being older and cheers, man. Not wanting to drink 7% IPAs because I'd had a couple for my birthday. Steph and I were in town.
Oh, that's fucking good.
Thank you. Freshly canned. So yeah, we had a couple. I had a couple beers before meeting my parents for my birthday dinner. And I'm like, 2 was the perfect number, but I wish I could make I wish I had a crushable version of that.
Yeah.
And anyway, Chef and I were sitting in the office talking about it and it just became this conversation. And all of a sudden it was like, we should do this. So I had selfishly bought a bag of Amarillo hops on sale from Brian Tennis at Michigan Hop Alliance. And I'm like, we're going to make this happen. And it was about 5.5%. Hoppy, it's a rye pale ale. Obviously not trying to copy Red's Rye, but just do our own little spin on it. I very much like going my own direction, but sometimes it's just fun to pay homage to a behemoth. So yeah, dude,
for so many years, Red's Rye was my favorite beer. But you know, like you said, it's a motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah,
it'll take you right down.
You know, and that's just the whole thing. And with it not really being available much in package, and to have that for a beer like a pre-dinner beer, it's like, okay, yeah, two's perfect. I'll drink Sapporo at the sushi place. Like that's cool.
Dude, so I want to get into how beer became your outlet and your medium and all of that. But,
yeah, of course.
First, I want the origin story. Like, take me back before you were head of Beverage. Take me back before the awards and all that. Like, what kind of kid were you?
I was actually a really good kid. I was extremely shy. I think, I'm sure mom's listening to this, but yeah, I think she would attest I was a shy kid. Tried to be the best version of a kid. I think I was a pretty good kid, so didn't get in a lot of trouble, but, yeah, just enjoying, things. I was big into the outdoors, loved fishing and hunting when I could, and hockey and just normal kid things. Yeah. Legos, Star Wars, like you name it, all the nerd things. I was kind of a nerd in high school, but
love that.
Yeah, but I felt like I was a good kind of nerd. So
yeah, I could have guessed.
Yeah.
So how do you get from nerdy high school kid to be like, I'm going to do some beer shit?
So beer, I always thought beer could be more elevated than it was in our country at the time. Lucky enough, growing up in Holland, there was like my first like wow experience. Like I was really lucky. My parents never really put beer on a pedestal or alcohol on a pedestal. Like I was allowed to have like a beer, but I couldn't go anywhere. So usually that ended up like shooting me in the foot more often than not. Cause the second I would open my beer and take a sip, like somebody would be like, hey, you want to go out? And I'm like, but I just opened it. And was allowed to have like one beer or like whatever for special occasions I got. And always thought like Beck's or Heineken, or those were like the cool beers, the good beers.
Yeah, the weird ones, right?
Yeah,
like,
the unique, like the things at that point in time were like the unique dogs. And I'll never forget it. I was like 21 at a party, and I'd had like a 6-pack of like I scored a 6-pack of Beck's because was like my jam. And somebody asked, he's like, "Oh, I haven't had that in a long time," but he had Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And he traded me for one. I took it, and like that was my first experience with like a really hoppy Pacific Northwest hopped pale ale. And I was just like, first sip was like, oh my God, that was horrible.
Was it like love, crazy. Or was it like, what the fuck did you just give me?
It was confusion at its finest. I was like, I don't know why I like this. And then a little bit later in the party, same guy, like, hey, you want to do that again? And I was like, yeah, definitely. And then I was also super lucky that New Holland Brewing came in and started doing some craft beer in town. And that was like right when I turned 21. So I think I spent some of my 21st birthday at the original New Holland space, and just, it's like, wow, beer can be this. And that was when I had that aha moment, and tried to get into wine because of the culture behind it, but it just never really fit me.
Yeah.
But I loved that. And so I think one of my pinnacle moments as far as a brewer or a beer person was when I became a certified Cicerone, was just that I became like beer's equivalent of a sommelier. And
what does that process look like?
So there's 4 levels of it. There's a certified beer server that like a lot of bartenders will take just to like prove. It's like a online test and a certificate. To become a certified, it was like I studied all summer for it. Call my friends and be like, hey dude, I've got like 6 American stouts open. I'm watching the Tigers. Do you want to come over and like taste beer with me? But the actual exam is like an 11-page written exam. It's no multiple choice. It's all short answer essays. And then you have like a 12 sample tasting exam, where you have off flavor analysis. You know, is this beer okay? Or is it got an off flavor? Style identification. Is this beer more of an American lager or German Helles or whatever they choose to do? And then the last part was 4 commercial examples, and they would spike a couple of them. And the whole like scenario was, you're a manager at a beer bar. Somebody sends this beer back. Would you continue to serve it? Why or why not? And you had to pass with like upper 70s, I believe it was at the time. And so, yeah, I took the first test. First test, I like just nailed my written, which I was super stoked about, but I had a couple snafus on the tasting. I think I overthought the tasting. And so I had to go back and redo my tasting. But then when I redid my tasting, it was like, I think it was like 96% or something like that. So
yeah, fuck yeah.
Super excited about that. And I got to go back to Chicago, because at the time you had to go to Chicago to take the test. So I got to go back to Chicago and hang out at Half Acre afterwards, and like walked in, and Chad at Pigeon Hill, like him and I were great friends in the homebrew days. And he's like, oh, I love Chicago. I'll drive with you down there. So he was at Half Acre hanging out. I walked in and he's like, how'd you do it? I'm like, I think I nailed it. And he was like, hell yeah. So
dude.
Yeah. So
when did you even get involved with brewing? Like, when did your relationship with beer get serious? Like, who said I love you first?
Well, it's definitely after a couple beers, it was like definitely an I love you, man. Me too, beer. But yeah, like I said, I always just felt like beer could be what I now envision it and how I make it now. That it could be an elevated beverage where for so long it was, I don't want to say bastardized, but it was kind of like when I was like my early 20s, like if my parents were like, we were hanging out at their house, they're like, oh, there's beer in the fridge for Ryan. Like, cause they don't want me drinking their nice wine, you know? Yeah. And now I'm like, yeah, sweet. I love like that. Wanted to start home brewing in my early 20s, had lost my job. So I started actually fermenting wine. There was a man, it was actually my ex-wife's grandfather who used to make farmhouse wine, called him Pip, which is French for Grand Pippy or whatever. So everybody called him Pip, but Pip made farmhouse wine. And so I started doing that, just learned fermentation. And once I got my feet back underneath me and found gainful employment, again, I bought a homebrew kit and started home brewing.
Yeah,
and then, that was knocking on 20 years ago. It was like late 20s. So like, not like 18 years ago, I started home brewing.
Well, what is it about beer and brewing that pulled you in? Like, and what keeps you a part of it? Like, is it the culture? Is it the fucking bubbles?
Love that question. It's a little bit of everything. It's just the variety of it. It's the simplicity yet the complex nature of the beverage. Like it's something that somebody can just come in as a macro beer drinker and come in and try a craft beer and find something that they like. But also just the amount of little things that you can learn and do and tweak. And as over 12 years as a professional brewer, I'm still like dialing in things, learning things.
That's because you're still curious, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's, and ironically, I never really thought of myself as much of a creative until approached to do this. And I just had that like another little epiphany. I'm like, yeah, this is how I do art, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And I hope you look back and you're like, it's so full of shit. I hope you feel that. I hope it hurts.
No. It hurts so bad, man. No, it just was always just like a thing I did. And it was like cooking. And I'm like, now that I'm actually making recipes myself and doing things for Coopersville, not that I didn't do that with Pigeon Hill. So just a little backstory on my professional tenure. I think they're going to celebrate 12 years open this March. I was one of Pigeon Hill's first employees. Went in to be a professional brewer, which I was like ecstatic about because never really felt that that was obtainable for me because I was in sales. I had a house, mortgage, car payment, all that. And like, couldn't really go tell my boss like, hey, I'm going to take a 6 to 8 week sabbatical and go train in a completely non, related industry, kind of got noticed as a home brewer by like Chad and Joel at Pigeon Hill, Chad, Joel and Michael, the owners there. Shout out to those guys. It became a possibility. And then Chris Carr and I were tapped on the shoulder to help them start their beer program with Chad.
How do you get noticed as a home brewer?
I think what made me noticeable was I brewed a lot with Chad and just like how I did things. I was made a lot of notes, was very meticulous. Cause I mean, home brewing's a lot of fun and everybody does it for different reasons. And I was always doing it too, cause I wanted to replicate. I wanted to make a beer that I could make again and again and again, which is pretty much pro brewing. Yeah. And I think that's how I got noticed, that and like work ethic. Like, and I think some of it was just luck. Like I was just the one in the herd that got noticed. I had spent 11 and a half years there. And then by kind of luck and happenstance, found out about the job at Coopersville, and it was kind of what I was looking for. And it was definitely what I needed. So, man, yeah,
dude. So you mentioned a former marriage. We're not going to dwell on this. We're going to spend a lot of time on it, but what I do want to talk about is, well, first, how old were you?
So got married super young. I think I was 23, 24 when we got married, and then married for like 17 years. Got like kind of separated during COVID. Okay. So that was a really fun add-on to that. But yeah, so yeah, living in the office for a couple of years during shutdown was an interesting part of life, but it was also good because it was a very cordial divorce. Like, we both are still friends. We share custody of our Labrador. So
I love that.
yeah.
So after 17 years, it's just like in an instant, you have to kind of meet yourself again, I would imagine, to some degree, right?
Yeah, it was a big reinvention moment for me. Like, I was a kid when I got married. I like did all the things because people told you that you had to do the things, and this is what happens, and this is what you know. Once I got into craft beer, just started learning and becoming, like I said, I think like my creative side got open, and I just didn't even really realize it, and just so many things happened. So
then coming out on the other side of things, like just Ryan, what have you learned about yourself?
You know, that's a great question. I learned a lot through counseling. Like, I learned about my brain. That's a huge thing. Steph and I have a joking emoji where it's the rhinoceros emoji and the brain emoji, like rhino brain. Like, I learned through talking to my therapist that my brain type, like, I see all possible outcomes. That's kind of like he always referred to it as like your superpower, and it can be your kryptonite at the same time, which I loved because I was a nerd. So I was like, okay, I like this guy. But yeah, like, I see all possible outcomes, and of like any generic situation, whether it's personal relationships, business relationships, things like that. And the good thing is, like, I can do a lot of risk assessment very quickly, and also be very much planner brain, very much calculated. But the downside is you like have thoughts in your head of situations that probably will never occur too. So you have to just manage that, balance that.
Right.
And then also like trying to not be pessimistic in like business settings, like as far as meetings or planning meetings and things like that was always a tough thing. But once I had that tool, once I could actually talk to, that was a big conversation that Jeremy at Coopersville and I had when I first started. I'm like, hey dude, I just see all sides of the coin. So if I come up with things, it's not that I'm trying to be a pessimist. I'm probably on board. I want to do this, but I want to think through all of this before we do it. And also, it's hard to jump. You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just like, I'm the kid that sits at the cliff for forever and overthinks it, you know, not the one that's like, what could possibly go wrong?
I don't even know what to do with my shoes. I can't possibly do this.
Yeah, exactly.
So is pessimism, or rather was pessimism, your kind of default mode?
I feel like yes. I feel like that was tough because I never really felt that I was being pessimistic, but I felt that it was being portrayed as that. And I've been really trying to focus on that, especially with the new opportunity at Coopersville. Just like, okay, how am I sounding? How am I coming off?
Yeah, this is going to be good.
How am I judging, you know, like, or how am I, like, I'm getting a ton of data thrown at, or my brain's trying to like extrapolate way more data than it needs to. Like, how is this coming off to other people? And that's been a huge thing for me in the past. And I'm really trying to work on like just being, just better about just having more of a out view. That's just like, let's just see what happens, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, it probably sounds like I'm this huge, like just gnarly pessimistic person, but you know, I'm like normally just a happy-go-lucky guy. So.
Yeah. That's how I know you.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's just kind of was like a big thing that I learned and processed in like my, reinvention, if you will, from like previous life to now new life. And just so much awesome stuff has happened once I kind of learned how to deal with those things and make those things. And I think a lot of times when, I have a misstep, it's just because I revert to that, you know, as far as like a business relationship, a personal relationship. If I have a snafu, it's just like, hey, I wasn't trying to be a dick.
You beat yourself up about that, or?
Too much.
Really?
Yeah. I'm trying to be better about it. Just be like, nope, I just got to move on from it and just
that's hard too, though.
Oh yeah. It's been a big eye-opening couple of years for me since COVID and things like that. And then, but yeah, like I said, this summer's just been a really kind of a cool Renaissance summer, as stressful as it was at times. There was just a lot of things I learned about, just kind of like getting like a fresh canvas to paint on, you know?
Yeah.
So,
dude, how do you take criticism when someone doesn't, maybe they don't dig the painting? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So forward facing, I always, especially with industry peers, my thing has been like, if we just stroke each other's egos, nobody's going to get better. So let's just be, like properly placed comments, critiques, things like that. I take it very hard because chances are I've already, like in the case of like a beer, it's like, I'm probably over analyzing this already. And then to get that extra one, it's like, it can be really difficult, but I just have to remember it's just like, it's just a comment. And then a lot of times too, once I like zoom out and look at who's giving me the comment and like, oh yeah, you're just, you're not like coming at it from like a beer judge or a beer critic. You're coming at it from a just naive consumer standpoint. It's like, okay, yeah, no, awesome. So,
yeah. Well, and like, who knows what the fuck people like, right? It's so subjective.
Well, and that's just it. And I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about beer. And like my typical dad sayings that I'm starting to get now that I'm in my 40s, apparently just comes with age, but is like, well, if everybody liked the same thing, it'd be easy because we just make one beer, right? And so yeah, it is definitely like you said, it's subjective, just like anything, like music, art, like you name it, food. There's so many things for a reason.
This episode is supported by Creative Mornings Grand Rapids, our local chapter in the world's largest face-to-face creative community. Creative Mornings believes everyone is creative and everyone is welcome. Their monthly lecture series is free and spans over 240 cities across 69 countries. Visit creativemornings.com to see what's going on with your local chapter. And by Revue, West Michigan's arts and entertainment guide. Find out what's going on in the world of local music, art, dining, events, and more with print magazines at over 500 locations, a weekly newsletter, and online stories at reviewwm.com. And by Merchants and Makers, a collective of local artists, makers, and small businesses. Merchants and Makers puts on markets across West Michigan, connecting people with real artists and makers at events that include food trucks, live music, and local shopping. Visit merchantsandmakers.com for information on upcoming events and how to get involved. You live beer. That's a safe statement, I think. Yeah,
pretty much.
Right. But you also run, and I mean like fucking run.
Yeah. I've kind of, so part of my renaissance, if you will, is just coming to terms with aging and like what's healthy for me for running. I've run 150 miler, 250 Ks, one of which was one of the toughest, the Barkley Fall Classic. So if anybody's into running that's listening, it
took me a second to register 50K.
Yeah. So like 30 something miles. Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah. But that was my life for a long time. And actually I started running as almost like just being my sister had said she was going to do a mini marathon, and which come to find out was a 5K. And
oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, I think it's a little shorter than that. And I had made a comment. I was way overweight at the time. This was like just at the beginning of starting to brew. I was a much bigger Ryno at the time. And I'm like, well, if you do it, I'll do it with you. And the fire got lit and I loved it. And the people I met along the way, and it just ties so much into beer. So like when I was first starting out at Pigeon Hill, Run Muskegon was starting. They're the local run club. Alana, who is Michael's wife and the head of like the front of the house type things for Pigeon Hill. She was one of the co-founders of that, so got into that, and I kind of pulled her aside because I was in sales before becoming a brewer, and I'm like, oh, all this work, I'm going to just shed weight, and then I realized that you start doing that, you start drinking beer, and that doesn't happen. So I was like, I want to do a little bit more than like a 5K or a 10K. I think I want to do a half marathon. So I trained for a half marathon. I loved it. Was going to do the Riverbank 25K, and then got after like a Wednesday at Run Club, after 2 beers, got talked into doing my first marathon because it's only a few more miles. But there's a beer, because it was in Kalamazoo, so there's an Oberon beer station, and there's a Baconade station. Like when you go to get like fuel or water, like somebody had bacon out, and so that was like the convincing point of doing this, and trained really hard for it, did really well, spent a lot of miles with a lot of good friends, and I've just found it was more about the journey to the race, and the race almost became the victory lap. Did horrible at that race because it was like it was one of the warmest Mays. It was the year that Kalamazoo had the tornado. So the tornado hit the day before. Just did not stick to my race strategy and still finished the race, but just did not do as well as I had planned. And then that fall, to get redemption, I actually signed up for the Chicago Marathon as part of the Alzheimer's team to raise money for Alzheimer's. Did that in memory of my grandma, and did way better. And then ever since then, it was just like, it just kind of had took off from there. So started getting into trail running, which I loved even more because it put me out in the woods.
See, I feel like that's how I'm going to hurt myself.
Yeah. Yeah. And honestly, it just kind of becomes like part of the thing. Like, you're going to, it's like that weird, like it almost feels like Zen, like, you're going to fall. It's just going to happen. You just don't know.
Get over it.
Yeah. And you just learn to kind of take a fall in the trails. And that was just, I fell in absolute love with trail running because it was just the perfect blend of meditation, exercise. And actually I found and I think that's why I loved ultra running so much for as long as I did, is I would run so much and I would just think through so much of my week, my life, relationships, good, bad. I'd get angry. I'd get happy. I'd get sad. And then all of a sudden it was like, you almost thought all the thoughts because you're out there for 4 or 5 hours of training.
It's just as much about the mental as it is the physical.
Yeah. Your brain just shut down and you were just like in this like weird, like meditative Zen state.
Just some Ryno time.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And then sometimes too, you'd have 4 or 5 hours where you're running with friends and you just talk about life and all the fun things and have great conversations. And the snacks are way better at trail running. Like everybody would bring like licorice and you're burning and I mean, it's not like you're eating good things, but you're burning so many calories that it just kind of doesn't matter. So, yeah. Good. So it just became, I joined a group called the Hobby Joggers. They're a group that runs out of Hoffmaster State Park. And I just fell in love with the sport and the people and just the connections. And it just became my form of meditation and probably escaping a little bit for that part of my life. And it was great. It was a great off switch.
Dude, your propensity for endurance kind of also explains your love of jam bands.
Oh God. Yeah.
Because those motherfuckers will play for like 10 hours.
So, I have a friend who's a big Fish fan, and, there was a doormat that I wanted to get for him forever that it said, hope you like 20-minute tweezer jams, Fish song. And so, Steph actually sent me a jam band meme last night. I'm like, why does everybody send me these memes? But it was about like a 20-minute, oh, this one's different because this, but I think actually jam bands are really good for my brain. Sometimes they even get a little long for me, but I think one of the things I found like back in the day, and I don't think I knew I found it till I found more about my brain, but there's so much going on that like it's almost like the bilateral stimulation in a weird way, where the music goes through your brain,
right?
And it almost like causes you to not think while you're listening to it. And so I think in a dumbed down way, that's why I fell in love with jam bands.
Dude, I love that. Do you find that music plays a role at all when you're thinking through maybe a recipe or something you want to do with beer?
Oh, definitely. And as much as I love jam bands, I'm very much into all forms of music. I've went through many different iterations of Ryno with different music. I was super into punk rock for a long time. But jam bands were always Grateful Dead was always the one that was over. Jerry was always there for me.
Yeah. I love that. And
then when Fish started getting popular, when I was in high school, that was cool. And then now Goose. But I've had so many iterations of used to be a huge Unwritten Law fan. All my friends listen to metal, so I kind of listen to metal by proxy. Love hip hop, but not a big fan of some of the themes of hip hop. So I got super into nerdcore hip hop, where it's just a bunch of nerdy, mostly white men rapping about
that checks out.
Star Wars and Dungeons and Dragons. And
dude, let's crack open another beer and then let's go topic hopping.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, what are we looking at here?
So this is our Tasker's Pilsner. So this is kind of a fun thing. This was a big part of my job at Coopersville when I first started, was just kind of taking the recipes.
Man, I got to get this sound.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Never gets old. Taking it and dialing it in. So it's always kind of.
How does it differ?
That was kind of the good and bad. It's not like I was opening a brewery or working on a brewery that was opening. So I was like, I couldn't change things too much because people knew it and loved it, but it was just like dialing it in, making it taste the same every time, and then just trying to improve upon it. So worked on hops a little bit, and it's a Pilsner, so there's very little grain in it. Yeah, it was just like playing with hopping ratios and how we did the hops and things like that.
Is there anything else we should talk about before we go topic hopping?
No, I think so. I think we're good.
All right. Well, let's take a sharp turn.
All right.
When you're gone, what do you hope people say about you?
Oh man, that's great. You know, as simple as it is, I just hope people just remember me as like a good dude. That he was a good friend. He was always there, and I hope most of all, like that people I love know how much I truly love them, because I love so hard, and sometimes I'm not really great at showing it, or I show it in a weird way.
What do you mean? What do you mean you show it in a weird way?
I'm really good at, like, I think like the whole love language thing kicks in a little bit, with obviously like, especially like with partner and things like that. But cooking is love language for me. So I was like, I love to cook food for people, and people are like, oh, cool, you cooked, you know, and
you're like, no, I just gave you a piece of my heart.
Yes. And thankfully Steph is very good at seeing that. And so that's been awesome, but just trying my best to show love. And then sometimes too, because I overthink things, I can have a hard time with relationships, whether it be friendships or things like that. It's
marriages.
Yeah. Yep. When Steph and I first started dating, it was like, I kind of knew I had more of a map of my brain. So that was super cool for that. But then also just trying to be really good about that. And then anxiety, things like that, just making sure that I keep that all in check and whatever. Yeah. But also, like I said, I love super hard, and I'm my own worst critic. So sometimes it's like, yeah. So I think that's my biggest fear overall would be if like I could like look down as I'm like whatever floating away, and people are like, oh, I just wish I knew how I stood with that person. But I'm like, yeah. So
like, man, I wish you still had some of his ribs in the fridge.
Yeah, I wish he would have showed me more love. But his ribs were great. Like, that's how I was trying to tell you. But yeah, no, so I try to say I love you more, just even in
that's huge.
You know, friendships, business relationship, like the appropriate level things, like just trying to share that more openly.
Yeah, so, that's huge, man.
Yeah.
Finish the thought.
Okay.
Creativity requires
dedication. I think when you're creative, it's you need to stay through. Because if I would have gone off my first batch of beer, I would have been like, yeah, I'm no good at this. So I think just
tell me about your first time real quick.
Actually, you know what? I was actually listening to some back podcasts about, and I think you asked Joe Short the same question.
I did.
And honestly, my first batch of beer, because I'm such a rule follower, like I grew up on Lego sets too, being a nerd. So I'm like, okay, you do the steps, you do the things. And first one actually did not turn out that bad. Now, if I could go back in time and try it, I might tell you a different story now with my beer palate now, but it actually turned out really well. The second batch, train wreck.
Really?
Train wreck.
What was it?
So looking back, I think the homebrew shop that I had gotten it from, the yeast was really bad that they give you in the pack. So I learned a valuable lesson, like check validity of your yeast. And I think that's something you still, that's huge in my world. Cleaning, sanitation, all that stuff. Cause I think it was just kind of one of those, like I got like lulled to a false sense of hope with the first one. And not that I wasn't meticulous on the second go around, because also I'm Dutch and I'm like, hey, I just spent all this money on this. I got to make this good. But yeah, no, the second one, I was actually out fly fishing with a couple of friends, and I brought a couple bottles, and we had a couple bottles left of my first batch. I'm like, but don't worry, I got a new batch. We cracked them open, and I could just see the smiles kind of go more level faced.
Oh fuck, we're gonna have to drink this, and we're gonna have to look at him in his face.
We got the home brewer in the boat with us, and good thing we brought a 12-pack of Coors.
Oh man.
Yeah.
All right. What would your last meal be?
Oh. Depending on where I was at, like in eating, it would probably be something.
Wait. What is that? What do you mean where you're at in eating?
Well, like if I just had Mexican food before, I probably wouldn't.
I see.
But I'm a huge, I love authentic Mexican food. I just love watching YouTube videos of somebody's abuela cooking food.
Yeah,
and I've learned like cooking Spanish enough to where I can like at least roughly understand. Like somebody could talk to me in Spanish, I'd be like, I have no idea what you're saying, but like in the kitchen setting, like I know what you're talking. Like, so I've just, again, food being a love language and a newfound hobby. Once I started brewing professionally, I love all things Mexican food, and then I also have a huge affinity for Chinese food. So if I had just had Chinese food, it would probably be Mexican. If it was like I just had Mexican food, it would probably be Chinese. But overall, I would definitely say probably tacos.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it. What's the best or the worst advice you've ever received?
I'll go with the worst. And it pertains to like relationship. Well, that just happens. That's just how you should feel at this phase in your relationship, like, cause feeling like a relationship had gone off
that
course.
just feels like bullshit.
Yeah. And it just reeked of it. That, and then, this was always a great one. There's never a good time to have kids, or never a good time, cause it'd be like, just never having kids. That was always you got asked by all like family member. You always had the one aunt.
Kind of like you're never going to be ready. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do it. Yeah. You're never going to do it. And I just remember, that got brought up a lot, and it was just like, no, I'm just trying to figure out where we're at with things. And and that was always like, you don't know where we're at. Like,
dude,
and
so when you said there's never a good time to have kids, like, my wife and I made the decision, we're not having kids.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, no, that's great advice. That's perfect for me. There is never a good time to have kids. That said, I'm the best uncle in the world.
Yep. And me too. I've been super lucky. Have a twin niece and nephew that are actually in college now. So that makes me feel old as fuck.
That's fucking gnarly.
Yeah. And then, just so many things, and then, I get to hang out with, Steph's adult son, Nate, and that's a really great vibe too. Not that it's, cause he's all grown and all that. So it's definitely not like a stepdad thing or anything of that nature at all, but he's such a good kid.
Yeah. God, I love that.
Yeah. So there's that fun part of it, but yeah, never had any inkling. I mean, when I was younger, because there again, you just like felt that was the thing you're supposed to do, get married and have kids. Right. And,
right. That was the map. Right.
That was like the next step in okay, you're married now. How many years till you have children, and it just never felt right.
Dude, I remember when Sarah, my wife, first was like, yeah, I don't think I want to have kids. I was kind of like, can you do that? Are you allowed to do that?
Wait, is there a rule?
Because if you can do that, I would like to not do that. Right. I would like to not have kids.
Right. This will work okay.
Like I like to go like this. We're big Disney World people. We're fucking Disney adults, and I wear that with
you should wear it with a badge of honor, man.
Yeah. I could not imagine taking a kid there. That sounds terrible.
Well, also too, I'm guessing going as an adult and just seeing like the perplexity of meltdowns.
Dude, okay, so my favorite one ever was we were leaving Magic Kingdom at the end of the night, and maybe like not even 10 feet in front of us, there was a mom and a kid that was probably a little bit too old to be in the stroller, but they probably just had a 13-hour day, whatever.
You're like, yeah, you ride the stroller.
Yeah, and he kept dragging his feet, and so the mom's like, pick up your feet. Pick up your feet. Now, this is when I realized that the mom had also just had a 13-hour day. Because she just dumped that motherfucker out of the stroller and was like, walk. And then just packed it up and walked away. Oh. And I was like, God, like I just looked over at Sarah and I was like, we're doing fine.
Yep. This is great. This is okay.
Oh. Ryan, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh, I love this question. Obviously coming from a jam band background, like that's not really like walk-up music, but
you can find the rhythm.
Yeah, yeah. As sad and as dirgy as it is, I think Black Muddy River from the Grateful Dead, but that's like the slowest, so it wouldn't be like the super hype song. Otherwise, I would say probably Fet's Vet from MC Chris, nerdcore rapper.
Yeah, sing it to me.
Cruzamos Espa in my DeLorean. The war is over on my Pista Mandalorian.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
What makes you feel most like yourself?
I think it's more of just a vibe or a feeling. I think it's just like when you're comfortable, when you're surrounded by loved ones, good food, good beer, good conversation. It could be a friendship. It can be a partner, like a romantic partnership type thing. But I think it's more of just a vibe or a feeling.
Yeah, it's the warmth of the people you love.
Yeah, I just get like that good cozy feeling. I can't explain it other than my brain shuts off. I always tell stuff like my brain shuts off. And
it's easy. You don't have to be on.
Yep, exactly. And that's where I am most comfortable. And it's usually at home, especially when Murph, my Labrador, is with me, and Steph's hanging out, and we can just be like, she can be jamming on her laptop, I can be cooking food, and we could just maybe have a record on or something like that, or we're sitting in the backyard just hanging out. It's like my brain shuts off, and that's where I'm like just the most comfortable.
Man, when Murph's not there, do you go crazy a little bit?
So I'm like home alone now because Steph's in Florida visiting her family. And so Murph was with me last week, and I dropped him off at Sarah's, my ex's Sarah as well. So not to be confused with Aaron and Sarah. Dropped him off on Monday. And so like Tuesday night, like I was like going to bed, and I'm like, okay, that and just not having a dog wake you up in the morning.
It's too fucking quiet right now.
Yeah. Whoa.
Dude, my dog Winston, he's been doing this thing for a couple weeks now because we like rearranged our room, and now he can kind of get to my side of the bed really easy, where he just wakes me up in the morning just by putting his chin up on my bed, and then just like he's like maybe an inch away from my face, and the only reason I know he's there is because he's breathing on me, and I can feel the.
I sense a presence.
Morning, bud.
Yep. So Murph will do almost like something similar but he's like the most, it's like, I'll call it passive aggressive, but he'll come in and he'll like high step, like clacky on the,
he's like, Murph's here.
We call it tap dancing, but it's just like, I'm coming in, I'm making noise. And it's like, oh, you're up, Dad.
Oh, I didn't know you would be awake.
Oh, fancy meeting you here. And it's like, what do you need, buddy?
Ryan, do you have any regrets?
I wouldn't say any regrets. Definitely things in life, if I could go back and redo them, I would redo them differently in a heartbeat. Because like I said, and that's why I think I'm so hard on myself when something does go wrong in a personal relationship, whether it's friendship, whatever, because in hindsight, I see the things and I'm like, oh, I handled that. Like, and I'm like just my worst critic to start with. And then when you have the interaction with friend, partner, whatever, you're just like, yeah, I'm already kicking myself in the nuts. Like, but I don't really have regrets because I think I hopefully learn from all those, and I try my best to never repeat behavior. But I mean, it happens. I'm human, but try my best to be even if it's a smidge better. If I was a D- last time, hopefully I'm a C+ this time, and then hopefully next time I'm a B- kind of situation.
Yeah.
And that was always the thing. Like I always, as a kid, like would do something stupid and just be like, oh, I wish I could go back and take that back. And it wasn't that I regretted it. It was just that,
like, fuck, I wish I learned this lesson in a different way.
Yep. Like the old, you're going to be dumb, you got to be tough kind of thing. Yeah. No. So yeah, definitely. I don't think there's really anything I regret. Other than like trying to like express my creativity like earlier on in life. But I think overall, no, it's just definitely some, if I got some do-overs, I would definitely go back and select the top 5, or if I got 5 do-overs, I'd go pick the top 5 and get some do-overs. But yeah. No regrets, man.
I love that. Last question for you.
Yeah.
Are you okay?
I'm almost there, man. I'm almost there. I'm doing really good. And new job and things like that are doing great. So yeah.
Things are looking up.
Yes, I'm super excited for the next chapter, and like I said, I'm at a B-, like my analogy previously. So I'm looking forward to getting to that A.
Well, you said you're in therapy.
Yeah, you're I want to get back into it. I'm going to try my best. And so yeah,
I love that, dude. Yeah. I'm so happy you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah,
I'm so happy you're on.
And it's okay not to be okay. So
cheers to that, man.
Yeah, cheers.
All right, dude. Before we wrap this up, where can people find you if you want that?
Oh, yeah. So obviously at the brewery in Coopersville, Michigan, Coopersville Brewing Company. Our all our Coopersville socials are under that. One Eye Pizza's our restaurant, where the infamous Kyle Murray reigns. But my Instagram, it's just a personal Instagram, but feel free to check it out. It's called it's at Feed the Ryno. So, because like I said, food is my love language. So yeah.
I love it.
But other than that, that's kind of it. But yeah, if you're ever at Coopersville, come and say hi. I'd love meeting new people and chatting beer. Love nerding out about it. So
My favorite.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Dude, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I really appreciate it.
It's amazing.
Thank you for bringing beer, by the way.
I'm surprised.
Can you imagine some people don't bring stuff?
I think everybody should be required to bring a beverage and talk about the beverage.
I think so. No, I'm fucking around. But dude, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
All right. Let's get out of here.
All right, let's do it.
Sick and tired of hearing all these noises in my head. I can't seem to make them go away.
Bad Idea Social Club is an independent podcast made possible by merch sales, reviews, and listener support, and is created and hosted by me, graphic designer Aaron McCall, and co-hosted by photographer Joe Matteson. Music is Noises by Mike Maids in the Branches. Get Bad Idea Social Club wherever you get your podcasts.